everyone, it's Joe. Welcome back to the Cat Scrappiness YouTube channel. So in today's project, I will be featuring the Deco foil flock transfer sheets that Cat carries in her store. And so these come in a variety of colors, and the colors that I have here are Purple Punch, Sunshine Yellow, Orange Glow, Green Envy, and Black Velvet. These sheets measure 6 by 12 inches and they come in 5 sheets in a pack. So here is the black velvet, and that's what it pretty much is. It feels like velvet. It's this nice velvety texture. So with these flock transfer sheets, you can use this paste, and this one is the Deco Foil Transfer Gel, and you would use this alongside with your stencils that so you would use these applied on your stencils and then apply the flock transfer sheets. And then also you can use the Stick It double-sided adhesive sheets, and then this is another type of adhesive sheets. This is score tape, and these measure 6 by 6. So these adhesive sheets you can use with die cuts on your projects with the transfer sheets, as well as this is a laminator that you would use with the transfer gel. So you don't have to use the laminator, but it helps with the transfer gel flock transfer. So this particular project I'm going to be showing you, I'm using these images. These are from Lawn Fawn, and it's the stamp set called Booyah. This is just a Halloween stamp set that I have in my collection. This is a Cat Scrappiness product. This is Crafters Essentials Fall Edition, and then also I have the foliage frame die here from Cat Scrappiness. These are the lime green confetti sprinkles, and this is the Hocus Pocus Halloween sequin mix that I'll be using on my card. Just to show you the Hocus Pocus sequin mix, I love the glittery round sequins. There's a lime green, a purple, and an orange. I just like how it sparkles. And then it also includes like these confetti orange strips. So let's get on with the card. So here I'm just taking a white cardstock. It measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this I'll use as my background, and I'll adhere it to my card base. So here I'm just taking some Distress Oxide inks in various colors. I did mustard seed in a specific place because I want it to kind of mimic the sun or moon or what have you, like a nice glow. And then I have some wilted violet for the purple, mowed lawn for the green. I have a really dark blue, and that's actually a distress ink, and that is chipped sapphire. And another distress ink, I use black soot. I did try the distress oxide in the black soot, but it was a little bit too light, so I really wanted that dark black, so I went with the regular distress ink. So as you can see, it starts off a little bit messy, but as you just blend all these colors together and you add more ink, it works out fine. So after I blend all the colors to the way I want it, I go ahead and take some Copic opaque white ink. This is like a white paint from Copic, and I just add some water, and I get a small detailed paintbrush, and I go ahead and start doing some white splatters to mimic like the night sky. So it adds a nice detail to the night sky there. So here is the black velvet Decofoil flock transfer sheets, and I'm taking the foliage frame die and just measuring it, making sure I just trim it so that I don't waste any of this flock sheet. So there are the images that I have, and I'm going to also just prep my acetate sheet. So this is an A2 size acetate sheet because I will be making a shaker. So I take that flock transfer sheet, and I get the die. I run it through my die cutting machine and cut out that frame. This frame is a little bit more detailed, so I did use a shim, like a extra layer, to run it through my cutting machine because I did not want to mess up. So here is the finished frame. It's nice and smooth. It looks like velvet. I really like the feel of flock. And so here I'm just adding some adhesive to the back of the frame, and I'm attaching the acetate sheet. So this is one way you can use the flock transfer sheets. You don't have to use any special adhesive or any gels or even the laminating machine. You just use it straight from the package. You could cut it to any shape, either by hand or use your dies that you already have in your craft supplies. So yeah, so I just used the die for this particular card, and here I'm taking some foam adhesive tape and making my shaker window there. Okay, so after making the frame there with the foam adhesive, I'm ready to adhere the colored images that I had prepped. So I'm using these two cute ghosts that are wearing the witch's hat, and I'm applying them with no special adhesive to the flocked frame. So I'm just using some Nuvo liquid glue adhesive, and I'm placing it at the top and bottom of that frame. And I'm also adding this cute little Halloween trick or treat bag. So next, here's the sentiment, "Hey Ghoul friend," and that was stamped on the fishtail banner die from the Crafters Essentials Fall Edition. And I'm just turning that frame upside down so I could add a little bit more foam adhesive for support behind those images so that it is nice and stable. So next I'm going to start putting in the shaker bits. So here are the lime green confetti sprinkles, and then the Hocus Pocus sequin mix that I'm centering in the middle of the card front because I do not want any of that sequin mix to catch on the foam adhesive when I lay it down onto that background cardstock there. So here I'm just taking off the adhesive backing, and I'm being very careful to line up the frame and that background, because once that foam adhesive makes contact, then you cannot move it out. So here is my finished card using the Deco foil flock transfer sheets, and this is just one way that you can use it, just straight from the package, and just start cutting it up with your die cuts. So I was originally going to use a white card base, but I changed my mind, so I'm taking some black cardstock, 110-pound weight, and this is from, the brand is Recollections, and it measures 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5.5. So here I stand up the card and I line up that front cardstock there, and it makes it easy to apply to the card base. So yeah, so that is one way. And the second way to use these flock transfer sheets is double-sided adhesive sheets. So in this particular demonstration, I'm using the Score Tape brand, and in this package you get 5 sheets, and all sheets measure 6 by 6. So here I'm just taking that foliage frame die again, and I am running it through my die cutting machine. So again, this is a more detailed die, so I did add a shim because I wanted it to cut through the thick adhesive sheet. So here it is in front of that background that I created. It's pretty much a mirrored copy of the background I made for that card that I just showed you. So now I just peel off the adhesive backing to that sheet, and now I apply it to the inked up cardstock. So I want to make sure that it's nice and lined up because this adhesive sheet is very strong, and once it lays down, you cannot fix it. And I did not want to mess up this card or this demo here. So here I'm just lining it up at the bottom of the cardstock, and I'm starting from the bottom, and then I'm making sure the edges all line up. And yeah, so that is how you lay that down. So now I'm just making sure that the adhesive is stuck onto that cardstock very well, and I'm just rubbing all the edges, making sure that I did not miss a spot. So here is the black velvet flock transfer sheet, and I cut it to size. And here's a few tips. Always make sure to cut your transfer sheet slightly bigger than your project, because I cut mine pretty much exactly to the size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And if you can see the little edges there, when I cut the flock sheet, it did do a little bit of skipping, as far as it took off some of the flocking on the edge. So when I ran it through the laminator, when I applied the flocking sheet to the adhesive, it did not take up, the flocking did not show up, if that makes sense. So here's another tip. When you cut your sheet, I think that you should cut it with the flock side facing down. So when you insert it into your paper cutter, you cut it with the white side up and the flocking down, so that when the blade runs through the flock sheet, it's not running across the flocking, it's just going through the cardstock. So that's how the jagged edges were created, is because I cut the sheet flock side up. So those are my tips. This is just from my experience working with these sheets. So here is my laminator, and I run it twice through my laminating machine because I really did not want to mess up, and I wanted to make sure that the flocked, it was bonded to the adhesive. So you don't have to use a laminator when you're using it with adhesive. So you can actually just put the flock sheet on top of the adhesive face down, like how I did it, and just burnish it with either like a tool or your fingers, maybe just like one of those scraping tools or something hard. Just burnish it very well so that the adhesive and the flock are bonded together. So again, you don't have to use a laminating machine. And there you can see I show you the part where the flocking didn't show up because of those jagged edges my blade created. Now it could just be my blade is dull, but I just think that you should cut it face down, the flocking face down. So I just trimmed that off, and it's fine, looks perfect to me. But you can see the effect of using the adhesive sheet with the flocking onto your card directly, and I love, love, love that velvet texture. It's so beautiful. And again, here is my first card, my shaker card, using the die cuts with the flock transfer sheets. And then here is just a second version demoing that you can use it with double-sided adhesive sheets. So that is my video for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This Halloween card showing you 2 ways to use the Deco foil transfer sheets. So stay tuned. I'll have another Halloween video coming up.